Now, first and foremost, I want to give a big shout out to the ladies out there who give a damn about your man. More specifically, those of y'all who want to genuinely see your man thrive. You want to see that man happy. Therefore, shout out to my fiance, my boo, my bestie, my bae. I love you. The one who basically puts stuff like this together for me. This is just, an expression of her love right here behind me. Yeah, y'all. Y'all are the saviors of your entire gender. Y'all, you right there who gives a damn about your man and is not so given over to this feminist propaganda that you can't see the beauty of the relationship that you could otherwise have if you just poured appreciation and respect into that man. Y'all are the ones. Now, that being said, it blows my mind how women who love their men, wives who love their husbands, seem to be the ones who get the most backlash in this modern day and age, more specifically in the comments section on almost any social media platform. You show love for that man, they're out there calling you a pick-me. They call you everything up out of your name. You understand me? You express how you do things for your man. Oh, what, you a slave? Are you that man's slave? No, I just happen to be, somebody in a relationship. I happen to be somebody who loves being in a relationship, somebody who is mentally stable enough to actually coexist with another human being in a functional way. That's what I am. Yes. But a pick me? Okay, I was picked. That's what y'all should be saying. The next time you get called a pick me because you are showing love to that man and you are willing to be a wife to a husband material, the next time they call you a pick me, say yes. And I was picked and I'm pickable. You, on the other hand, you look like a leave me. You look like a drop me. You look like a oops, not me. You understand? So that being said, let's go ahead and let sis really cook over here and cook a delicious meal at that. I have two versions. I have let them cook and let them burn the house down, which is the negative, and then let them cook and let them, make a beautiful meal, which is the positive. So let's go ahead and let her cook to the best of her ability. And we're all here for it.
I may get canceled for this, but I don't want my husband to just work and pay bills. I don't want him to not have a hobby. I don't want him to not have healthy mental health. I don't want him to not have savings.
Hold up, folks.
I may get canceled for this,
We just
but
gonna let that play out. She's cooking and I can't even smell the damn
it,
food. That's a damn shame.
I don't want my husband to just work and pay bills.
Okay.
I don't
Imagine
want
imagine that. You don't want your man to just be a utility, but instead to be a human. Hmm.
him to not have a hobby. I don't want him to not have healthy mental health.
Mm.
I don't want him to not have savings.
Ooh.
I don't
You wait a minute. You want him to have some money left after you? You mean to tell me that you're the type of individual who actually wants to see your man have a little something after he has, taken care of household things and such and such? Wow. You don't see your man as an ATM? Oh my. I think you might have been born in the wrong generation, twin. I think you might have been born in the wrong generation.
don't want him to work and slave all day every day to take care of my bills.
And mind you, ladies, when you have this sort of energy about you, a man wants to go out there and work his ass off for real. I promise you. Like a matured man, one who has come out of that childlike adolescent state, that man right there is going to want to work on your behalf. I'm living proof.
Our bills and me just sit there and not contribute anything. This is coming from a young lady who has never been married. I don't have any kids. I have a dog. I'm fully educated, pay my own bills right now.
I think she's even better for this messaging. I do. I think she's even better than somebody who's married, etc. Because them, you always get the lucky you. Well, you don't know what it's like out here. You don't know. No, this is one of y'all, dog mom. That's I'm educated black woman, and yet she is willing to humble herself. And mind you, relationship is about humility. Every relationship in your life. Because humility is the opposite of pride. And when you're prideful, you can't learn no damn thing. Nobody can tell you nothing. You can't tell me nothing. If you move through life with that sort of pride, it will indeed lead to your fall and your demise. And nobody will give a damn when it does happen. You've fallen and you cannot get up. And nobody will give a damn. And I know that, we need to get to a place in life. And I preach that we need to get to a place in life where we don't necessarily have this thirst, this need for external validation. However, we can get to a place where we are whole enough to be in a relationship and be able to give our whole self to that relationship as best as we can. We may not always be in this perfect mode of always, but damn it, you try and you try and you try and you try. I heard a quote not too long ago, and unfortunately some of it rings true, and there was a lot of women who were, actually it was a chick who put the statement out, and a lot of women were affirming it. It said that a man will give up his happiness for his woman's sake, and a woman will give up her man for her happiness sake. That hit like a dagger in the heart, because I've seen that play out a multitude of times. I'm not happy, I leave him. I want to make her happy, and he'll leave himself. And I don't think either is correct. But damn, ain't that something? When we've gotten to a place where we are being brainwashed and conditioned to be so shallow and so short-sighted that we can't even see that it takes something to build something. You got to put the work in. You're looking at your grandparents' relationship or whoever it is that you admire their relationship, and you think that didn't take work? You think that was not work right there? I heard somewhere else they were talking about how we're always looking for our soulmate, but really it's like you're not supposed to be looking in the front end. You're supposed to be looking in the back end. Is this somebody I can build into becoming my soulmate? Which, well, not build like a project, like I'm gonna fix you, but like, can you build a life together? Can you get to know this person and, and become one after making the decision that you're willing to fully give yourself to a relationship? Yes, it's terrifying. It's scary. What about my money? What about my feelings? What about this? What about that? Absolutely. But guess what? Life is a risk. Life itself is a risk. And if you're not ready for the risk of what it is to be in a true relationship, I suggest you just not participate, because there's serious folks. And I don't like when serious folks deal with non-serious folks, or non-serious folks are seeking out serious folks. And now there's a whole lot of unnecessary problems and trauma taking place. But continue.
And it is difficult. I have a great career, and it is difficult. So when I think of getting married,
and you will be, trust me, if that's really your spirit, girl, you will be,
and building with someone or coming together and bringing our assets together, I could never lay in my bed knowing that my husband has no life and no freedom and maybe no peace because all he does is work.
Some of y'all don't want a husband. You don't want a man. You want a slave. Some of y'all don't want a wife. You don't want a confidant. You don't want a lover, a best friend. You want a slave. Some of y'all want a product. Y'all want something that y'all can walk around with on your arm so other people can see you. You want an advertisement. You want a billboard of look at me and look how dope I am. That's why they give you all these criteria of what the man should look like, how much he should have, and all these sorts of things, because you're basically consuming that individual like a product. Is really a narcissistic tendency. He must be 6 feet, 6-pack, six figures, 6 this, 6 that, the damn devil's number, right? He's got to be all these things. Why? So you can be seen by others as you are somebody. It's the same phenomenon as the trophy wife. It's the exact same phenomenon. You're moving around with somebody next to you who's nothing more than just a figure, nothing more than just a body, something to be used and then disposed of whenever it is you feel so. It is incredible to me how the dynamic of relationships has shifted, and just the influence from some of the stuff that we consume, we watch, we listen to on a daily basis, and the effect it has on the mind. And this is coming from a guy who was heavily into the red pill. At a certain point in my young adult life, I was deep into that red pill. I believed that the red pill was the ultimate truth. that these women were out here to get me. But how was that going to coincide with me wanting to become a husband and a father and a pillar of a household and a pillar of his own environment and community? How could I be that, but also hold these red pill ideas that women were literally the enemy? How could I do that? Look at that. We got all types of zoom ins taking place for dramatic effect. How could I live in those two contradictory places and expect to get the best result? And I ask y'all ladies the same thing. How do you expect to live in a place of these men ain't this, these men ain't that, F these men, I ain't gonna do nothing for them, but you also want to be a wife? Nah, you don't want to be a wife. You want a ring and you want a wedding. You want a celebration and you want somebody to strut around with on your arm. You don't want no relationship. She wants a relationship. If she's really about what she's talking about, yeah.
And pay bills so that I can enjoy, as if he doesn't deserve to enjoy.
Yeah, you have to be able to recognize a person's humanity if you want something greater for them than just to be a utility for you. A lot of folks are becoming deeply narcissistic in our society. It's no surprise. And I used to shy away from using that word too much because it's overused. And maybe I do overuse it. I'm, kind of self-diagnosing, whatever. But the tendencies are narcissistic to say that this person is going to be what I need them to be for me in order for me to get along in this way. That's not how real relationships work. It's not this superficial transactional thing. I did a video recently. It was a S worker. She was talking about how marriage is basically S work. Short conclusion to that video, no, it's not. That's absolute nonsense. But she couldn't understand because she's in the mentality of transaction. He pays me this and I give him that. And that's all there is to it. She cannot understand bonding. She cannot understand connection. She cannot understand what actual intimacy is, closeness, love beyond the bedroom. She can't understand what it is to care for somebody as you care for yourself. She lives still in that selfish paradigm. Sometimes kids will change that for you and you become selfless, etc. But for some folks, they stay or become even more selfish and use the kids to the same extent. But I'm thankful that we have sisters like this speaking in the way that she is. 1 million views on that video since April 8th. So it's resonating. That's literally yesterday. As of me filming this, it was yesterday. 1 million views. So it says respect. A woman who sees beyond the paycheck sees that person. That's love. Yeah, let's read some of these comments. These are some of the positive comments, hopefully. This is annoying because what woman doesn't feel this way? Like, why is she stating the obvious? So she's stating her opinion. So let's see. Oh, of course. Yep. Got the fake. That out for the world. Not surprised at all. A man has to do a lot more than just take me out to eat. See, look, all I do is fine dining. I'm not impressed. So look, this is so good. I didn't plan for this, honestly. I did not plan for this. So stay tuned for this part because this is about to be a movie. So the same chick who's annoyed with her, this is annoying because what woman doesn't feel this way? Maybe you. Maybe you're the woman who doesn't feel that way. Because according to you, a man has to do more than just take me out to eat. All I do is fine dining. I'm not impressed by dinner with a man. I'm doing that regardless. Okay. Damn, I really ain't got no N-word. That's crazy. She retweeted that. Not surprised. A lot of y'all are stupid. Mostly everyone actually. This is my realization as I become older. Okay. Nobody, me. I want to go to Miami. Not surprised. Nothing is more attractive than a man that is always handling his business. It's such a turn on. I'm sure that means in her head, a dude who's got the bag. Being called princess. Okay. Lifting weights can make you look in shape, but cardio going to tell you the truth about yourself. That's pretty funny. This is all retweets. Okay. Interesting. Protect her at all costs. Actually, F that marriage. Marry her at all costs. Let's see. With the attitude, she deserves someone to treat her right and keep her happy as well. Men don't have to sacrifice their happiness in marriage. It's true. That's a happy wife, happy life. No, that's not healthy at all. For anybody involved, you just become resentful. You become miserable. And essentially, you live a lie. My girl knows when I'm here, I'm here. That's all there is to it. She don't push. She don't force. She loves to spend time with me, be with me, but she knows what time I'm on. She knows what time I'm on. I know what she's on. There's trust there. And that's all that really matters at the end of the day. What else we got? Finally, a woman speaking facts. Here comes all the H's talking about, oh, she picked me. That's exactly what I said. That's what he's supposed to do. And with the kind of mindset, you're going to be the same ones, lonely and single. Yeah, again, this chick, she literally expressed how she has no man. She's one of the top ones, one of the only ladies I've seen so far. Oh, chicks. I don't know if I can call her a lady. I don't know her like that, but she's talking about she ain't got no man. You got to do more than take me to dinner because all I do is fine dining, all that type of nonsense. Insecurity. What's her at? I'll marry her. It's funny. You won't be canceled by people with sense. Maybe the people who don't make sense will say something bad about this. Facts. Color me surprised. Usually this the other way around. Maybe humanity does have, there's a lot of hope out there for sure. Finally, a woman that gets it. That's still some good women out. Of course there are. She a gem. Boom, boom, boom. What's this? Well, at least you acknowledge he has a good one. They make them like they don't make them like this no more. 100 fellas. The queen better know someone by June the latest. See, I'm telling you, brothers men are quite simple in nature. You know, we don't require the world. We just require to be acknowledged, to be seen, to be cared for, to be loved. For us, loved is to be, respected. And of course, you got to be worthy of that respect. But what is worthy? It's not to say, oh, I don't fit all these boxes that you want me to fit, but instead that I'm a man who shows up, I'm honest, I move with integrity, I move with all these things. Then you are deserving of that respect if you are respecting yourself. Same way, vice versa. So shout out to this sister right here. Shout out for her telling the truth and nothing but the truth.
I don't want my husband to just work and pay bills.
Yeah, you can tell that's the hurt. She's like, I'm done with all these crazy criteria. She has no cake face, no extra caterpillar eyelashes. She's not about to fly off to Kansas or to the city of Oz if she flaps her eyes too hard. Her hair is her hair. There might even be some grays in there. This is who she is. And guess what, ladies? A chick like this is getting all of that. Y'all see, there's no BBL, no this, no that, no that, none of that. None of that. None of it. Got a crew neck on. Loving the crew. They're loving the crew. None of that going on. And yet, look at the men are, thank you. Men are much simpler than you would imagine. I promise y'all that. I promise y'all. You're doing too much. You're honestly, they got you. They really have hijacked y'all. They really have hijacked y'all's sense of self. Because if you were tapped into who you truly are, your femininity, you would understand that all a man is looking for is a solid chick. A man. I'm not talking about the boys who chasing whatever it is and they're conditioning. They're gooners. They're programmed to, just see ass and see tatas and titties and no. I'm talking about real men. Grown men who are looking for marriage, who are looking for something long term, are looking to build with you. Very simple. The formula is very simple, but yet what becomes difficult is when you're trying to be for the world, you're trying to be for all these materialistic things at the same time as being for what truly matters. And once you get rid of that cognitive dissonance, it becomes infinitely easier to step into that. So shout out to you out there, and I'm out. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Now, if you'd like to stay around, make sure to click that little subscribe button down there, or you can show some love by going to the description below and clicking on the button titled Buy Me a Coffee. Leave a little something there, or click on the Cash App. Leave a little something here. Till the next time, peace.
I fell in love with the sunshine. I fell in love with the light. I fell in love with the full moon. I fell in love with the night. I can see the light again. I can see the light. You can see the life in him illuminate the night. I know the time is taking. A 365, that's a full rotation. I see you looking up. You know them constellations. Constantly gazing like house of praises. You get to praising.